Mr. Beam, Mr. Beam. I am so excited to have you inside my office today. Today, we are actually going to be taking our first initial steps to helping you with your issues that you're facing right now with your vocal folds. Now, as you may remember from our last conversation, last time we met, we were doing several examinations just to really get a pure understanding of what exactly your vocal folds look like, why those symptoms might be happening, and what it sounds like to other people. And as I'm sure you remember, what we have going on is something called a bowed vocal fold. And when that happens, what that means is that instead of your vocal folds being able to close completely like they're supposed to, they're not able to. No matter what happens, you're continuing to have a gap in between them. And when that happens, you're actually using a lot more force, a lot more tension, and it's creating that result you have right now where you feel like you're overexerting and you can't catch your breath. So, with all of that research that I've been doing for you, I've found something that should be able to not only just help you, but overall in that one specific area with the tension, but it also might be able to help compensate for that weakness that we were talking about earlier with the bowedness. This new technique is called straw phonation. And as you may assume, it not only does it involve a straw, but it was developed for people like you and mine. And what it is intended to do is to retrain your vocal folds to work around that issue you're having with your voice box. Now, I know what you're thinking here. How are you supposed to breathe out something this small? Well, the way this straw phonation is going to work is that you're going to be breathing in through your nose, and when you're making the sounds out of the straw, you're going to be shooting the air right out directly. And that's why I want you to start on the straw that's this size, or even something, hopefully you can find something a little bit bigger. Because yes, this does require a lot of air for you to be able to flow in and out of your body. And because that you are still in recovery with this whole process, we're going to start off with a very large diameter, no coffee straws, but it is our intention to eventually get there. Now, when we do the straw phonation, what we are going to do is, like I said, we're going to insert the straw into our mouth, and we're just going to breathe directly out of the straw. And you know you're going to be doing it right when not only you could feel that resonant feeling, the vibrating feeling through your face, but you also want to be able to feel it through your lips. And for our first, just for a warm-up, that I want you to start off doing every time before you start the actual exercise, and just to see if you could blow bubbles into a cup, just so you can make sure you're doing it right. It's going to look a little bit like this if you're doing it right. So now that you are all primed for the activity, now we're going to start working on the actual step one, which we're going to take that same straw, whatever straw that we're working on for the rest of the week. I'll let you know whatever you come to the section when you're graduated to a smaller size straw. When you start with step one, we're going to go from low pitch to high pitch to back to low pitch again. And once again, we're going to be breathing in through our nose, breathing out through the straw and our mouth. At the same time, we want to put less focus on our vocal folds right here. We want to make sure we're getting that vibrating feeling. So what that looks like is something like this. And I want you to just cycle doing that for 1 to 2 minutes. And of course, after we complete step one, we will be moving on to step two. And this is where it gets a little exciting. The step two, what we're going to be focused on is something called hills. And with hills, it sounds a lot more like a race car engine than anything else. And well, let me just show you what we're going to be looking for when you're producing hills correctly. And we're going to be practicing the exercise for around 1 to 2 minutes, depending on whatever we decide to finalize it on. And once again, we want to take all that tension we're putting on the throat. Not only we want to focus more on our head and lips for this exercise, but we're going to focus on pushing harder on that diaphragm area for well when we're focusing on step 2. As for the final step, this is where it gets really fun at. On this part, what we will be doing is singing our favorite song through a straw. Now, before you start running off and doing your favorite song that you like to do, I suggest, because we're just starting out, that we do something a little bit more reasonable, and we start off with maybe a children's nursery rhyme. Let me show you what I'm looking for exactly. That's what we're going to be looking for. And when you're doing this, what we want to do is we want to try to do not only the whole entire song, but once again, we want to keep this up for at least 1 to 2 minutes, specifically while we're still getting to the hang of things for right now. And eventually we're going to grow to do things, grow to be able to do the song, then your favorite song entirely in whole through the straw. But first, we got to be a little bit patient. We got to start small. That's why I got to suggest doing a nursery rhyme first. Now, before you leave, I want to reiterate the whole purpose of this exercise one more time for you. The purpose of this is we want to retrain your vocal folds, how to produce that sound with less tension in your throat. We want to produce it with less breathiness. We want to be able to produce it without you feeling like you're exhausted and giving out more energy than what's required for you to speak. And with that, that's going to take time. Practice does not make perfect. I don't care who tells you that. What practice makes is performance. And because this is true, I am going to suggest that you do these exercises 3 times a day. 3 times a day should be enough times for your body to just retrain itself on how to do what we've been doing, how we want to do it when it's time. Whether you're talking to me, your wife, or even a stranger, I want you to be able to confidently walk out of this office every day knowing that your training is effective and it's working. I expect to start seeing significant gains with you approximately in between 4 to 5 weeks. And once again, those gains are going to look like you taking less effort. It's going to be able for you to maintain a good speech rate, a good speech volume, and other people understanding you. Now, if there are no more questions, I would love to walk with you out of the office so we can get you all signed up and exited out. Or if you would like me to, I can talk to your wife as well so she can understand the assignment you're going to be working on as well. Thank you.